Now at 10, firefighters battle a fire and heat exhaustion in Berry County, Missouri. Plus, the courthouse in Carthage, Missouri reopens for business after extensive water damage shut it down. And some area international students celebrate and learn about the 4th of July.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
You might not see fireworks tomorrow, but you could hear the boom of some thunder. This is KOIM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Well, we had some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there this evening, and then we are going to get some additional ones late tonight, and then we do have that severe threat as we get into tomorrow evening, so a lot to go through. 92 today, average high is 89 degrees. We're still sitting mid to upper 70s to near 80. All those thunderstorms we had earlier in our southern counties have pretty much fallen apart, but we are going to be watching for additional thunderstorms to get going as we go through the overnight hours. So hit and miss storms the next few hours. Watch how they start to pop up again in our northern counties late tonight. So we're moving to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then a last band will drive through. And some of these storms could be strong, pushing through the region. So mainly staying along and north of I-44, but should be pretty much out of here by the time we get into the morning hours. Of course, we got that severe threat we got to look at for tomorrow, which we're going to do coming up here in just a bit.
See you soon. A controlled burn in Jasper County, Missouri got out of control this afternoon just north of Dunaweg. Authorities say it spread quickly, covered about 25 acres, but did not threaten any buildings. Firefighters tell us despite some recent rain, much of the area is still relatively dry. Area fire departments ask the public to reach out to them before performing a controlled burn. Local firefighters recover after battling a fire in this high heat index when crews responded to a house fire near Golden City, Missouri late yesterday afternoon. The house was already engulfed with flames visible from all sides. One firefighter was taken to the hospital for heat exhaustion and smoke inhalation. A second was treated at the scene. The house was a total loss. Authorities conclude an investigation into the discovery of a body at the scene of a house fire in Anderson, Missouri. That fire happened early Monday on Park Street. Authorities found a woman's body inside the home. Now an investigation and autopsy indicate the woman, 52-year-old Gina McCormick, set fire to the building, then fatally shot herself. Authorities say they do not suspect foul play. Taxpayers can now resume conducting business with the Jasper County Collector's Office in Carthage. The office is one that was affected by a burst pipe earlier this year. Flooding damage was so severe the office had to be stripped down. However, issues were made worse when lead-based paint and asbestos were discovered. Staff and taxpayers all were sent to the collector's office in Joplin to conduct their business.
Took care of what we need to take care of. Sadly, taxpayers all had to go over there if they needed a waiver or other things. Some things they could do online or they could mail it in. But if they needed a waiver, that required them going in person. And so it was an inconvenience to the taxpayers. And we knew that, but we had no choice.
The county collector says he's grateful for the public's patience during the past half year. Chanute Public Library gave kids a chance to fly a tablet-controlled drone. The drones, a part of the library's summer program, were used to encourage kids to visit their local library. Officials say they want to make sure children know that libraries have a lot more to offer than just books.
This is the ongoing programs, and we also have all different kind of variety of activities, including these drones, and then also all different kind of activities like story time, and then we have the guests like jugglers, and then the zoo people from the Topeka Zoo, and then all different kind of activities.
Flights got off the ground at 10 a.m. and anyone in attendance was encouraged to give piloting a shot. 4th of July festivities around the 4 states roll on tonight in Carl Junction, Missouri. The Carl Junction Area Chamber of Commerce hosted the Firecracker on Wheels decorating party. Kids of all ages could come out with everything from bikes to trikes to scooters to anything else really with wheels and decorate them in patriotic style.
And then once they do their bikes and stuff, we're just going to leave them here in the lobby. They can come by and pick them up in the morning. We'll be here from, I believe, 5 to 8 this evening. If anybody in town wants to come by and decorate a bike, we got some decorations for you as well. Tara Miller and the Chamber, Nick Howard, the president of the Chamber, he's actually sponsoring this. It's all kind of their idea, but we just wanted to host the event.
The kids will ride their patriotic wheels during Carl Junction's 4th of July parade. Church in Joplin also getting in on the 4th of July action this evening. Celebration Church hosted a celebration of freedom. The family-friendly event featured food, bounce houses, games, worship, and was capped off with an outdoor movie viewing. Officials say it's a way to bring the community together.
Seeing the kids' smiles on their faces. I love seeing the people, just excited to be together, the fellowship, the relationships, and then obviously just overeating and just, it's part of where we are.
I think the best things people can get from it is just, the realization that they're able to come out and show how much they love their country. There's no barriers here. There's nothing that holds you back. You just can go out and express how much you love it.
The event also featured live music, kickball, and cornhole. Some international students at Pitt State got a head start on Independence Day celebrations. The intensive English program held its own party today with about 60 Japanese and Taiwanese students. They got to share food and experiences and learn about what the holiday means to our nation.
So we really want to give them that full experience of what the American culture is, especially these American holidays, because they are vastly different from the ones they experience back home. We try to give them a new experience, see what American culture is like, try to get them interacting with different locals, and try to really learn truly what it is to be American.
The intensive English class will also host a canoe and kayaking event with lawn games and a cookout at the University Lake on July 16th. The FDA approves a drug that could slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease. That's coming up. Plus,
President Biden is looking to tamp down concerns about his re-election bid, speaking with top Democrats. I'm Skyler Henry in Washington as his campaign deals with the fallout following his debate performance last week.
This weekend,
President Biden met with more than 20 Democratic governors tonight to shore up support and reassure them he's up to the job following his performance in last week's presidential debate. This as a growing number of Democratic lawmakers are calling on the 81-year-old president to drop out of the race. Skyler Henry has the latest.
Biden today.
Democratic governors filed into the White House Wednesday night for a meeting with President Biden and Vice President Harris, an attempt to salvage their campaign nearly a week after Biden's poor debate performance. Some of the governors have been named as possible replacement candidates by Democratic donors should the 81-year-old president step aside. Some say they're standing by the president.
He has had our backs through COVID, through all of the recovery, all of the things that have happened. The governors have his back.
Mr. Biden has been making the rounds of reassurance, talking to top legislators and telling campaign staffers he fully intends to be the nominee and win. He and his team blame his debate performance on jet lag and the cold.
I had a bad night. And the fact of the matter is that, I screwed up. I made a mistake. That's 90 minutes on stage. Look at what I've done in 3.5 years.
But a senior House Democrat tells CBS News that at least 25 lawmakers plan to sign a letter in a matter of days asking the president to step aside. Congressmen Lloyd Doggett and Raul Grijalva have already done so. And Representative Jim Clyburn, a longtime Biden friend and confidant, said he'd back a mini primary with other candidates in the run-up to the Democratic National Convention next month.
You can actually fashion the process that's already in place to make it a mini primary, and I would support that, absolutely.
Meanwhile, the Republican National Committee is prepping for its convention that begins in less than 2 weeks, and former President Trump's presence is all but assured. The Supreme Court's decision about presidential immunity has delayed his New York hush money trial sentencing. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
In new CBS News polling conducted after last week's debate, Trump has an edge over Biden, though nationally both candidates remain functionally tied. The personal information of more than 1,000 Ticketmaster customers has been exposed in a data breach. Ticketmaster confirmed hackers obtained information including emails, phone numbers, and credit card numbers. The company believes all customers affected by the breach have been notified. They're offering identity monitoring services to those who enroll within 90 days of receiving the notice. General Motors is getting hit with a nearly $146 million fine connected to excessive CO2 emissions. The EPA and the U.S. Department of Transportation made the announcement today. The agency said almost 6 million older SUVs and pickups under GM's Chevrolet brand were emitting more than 10% higher emissions than reported. In addition to the penalty, GM agreed to cancel millions of metric ton greenhouse gas credits it received for complying with federal rules. A GM spokesperson tells the Washington Post the automaker denies any wrongdoing or violations of the Clean Air Act. A new study shows many tattoo inks contain bacteria. The Food and Drug Administration looked at sealed ink used for both tattoo and permanent makeup. Researchers found about 35% of it was contaminated. Made no difference if the label claimed the ink had been sterilized. Among the bacteria discovered were those that can cause acne and urinary tract infections. This was the first study to look at anaerobic bacteria in tattoo ink. It was published in the journal Applied and Environmental Microbiology. Hundreds of thousands of Americans might be infected with a tick-borne illness that causes an allergy to meat. Alpha-gal syndrome, or AGS, is caused by the bite of the Lone Star tick, which is identified by a white dot on its back. The saliva of the tick will cause those infected to have a reaction to red meat, pork, lamb, and even gelatin or dairy products. Most of the cases of AGS have been reported across 13 states in the eastern half of the U.S., from Kansas to Delaware. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says more than 110,000 cases have been reported. The FDA approved a new drug that could slow the progression of early symptomatic Alzheimer's disease. The drug is given in monthly infusions and has only been shown to work in people with very early onset symptoms of Alzheimer's. In a large trial, it slowed the decline of cognitive function overall by about 22% over 18 months. The drug is set to be available in just weeks. It costs $32,000 a year and is covered by Medicare Part B. A little later, Mid-America League Baseball continues. John Dales has more on the Outlaws taking on the Timberhogs later in sports.
Plus, we have more thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to be looking at that coming up. Well, of course, we had some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region for us earlier today. Pretty calm out there right now, but we're going to get additional thunderstorms a little bit later on tonight. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam, which is in downtown Joplin. All right, severe threat gone, at least for the next several hours. We had at least a low severe threat with severe thunderstorms that were rolling along and south of I-44. Pretty quiet right now. We have a couple little guys in Benton County, a little shower just north of Cedar County in southwestern Missouri. But we're really kind of watching what's going on back toward the west, because this batch is going to head toward us a little bit later on tonight, giving us scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly our northern counties. Here's about 1 a.m., scattered thunderstorms, northern counties. And then as we go through the night, this last band will try to dip a little bit farther toward the south. So here's 3:30 in the morning. Let's go to 4:30 in the morning, affecting Iola, Chanute, down to about Parsons, and mainly staying along and north of Interstate 44. So we'll have these to start the day, and then we look pretty good from that point on. All right, rainfall for us tonight, mainly in our northern counties, but with additional thunderstorms tomorrow. A lot of areas are going to pick up a half an inch, upwards to an inch of rain. Also a severe threat, level 2 out of 5 tomorrow. Timing, 4 p.m. until about 9 p.m. Main threats are going to be hail and wind, so we're going to keep all the threats low, but something we want to watch closely as we get into tomorrow afternoon. All right, by noon, most of us into lower 90s. I think most of us are going to warm mid to upper 90s. Here's 4:30 p.m. hit and miss storms starting to pop up northeastern Oklahoma, and most of these are going to be along and south of the I-44 corridor. Here's 7 p.m. Let's go to about 9 p.m., mainly on the Missouri side at this point in time, and hopefully out of here by about 10 p.m. But some of those are going to pack quite a punch tomorrow evening. We clear out tomorrow night, very comfortable, humidity drops down into the mid 60s, and then check this out on Friday, high temps only into the mid 80s by Friday afternoon. All right, here's your fourth forecast. By noon, 92, 97 by 5, thunderstorms starting to pop up, hopefully ending by 10, with a temperature sitting at about 86 degrees. But you can see these rain chances. They really shoot up after 4 p.m., and then by 10 p.m. they start to go down across the area. All right, heat indices are going to be out there as well tomorrow. Look at this, 108, 110, maybe 111 as we get into tomorrow afternoon. But with that front dropping through, we don't really have to deal with the heat index at all by the time Friday rolls around. All right, Friday looks good. Highs into the 80s. Back near 90 on Saturday. Sunday, mid-90s, but again, strong to possibly severe thunderstorms rolling back in late in the day on Sunday. Alert day tomorrow with that severe threat. 85 on Friday, 90 Saturday. So the bulk of the holiday weekend overall looks pretty good. We're going to be, just got to have your head on a swivel tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be hot and muggy, and then it'll be stormy.
It will be.
During fireworks. Oh, wow. Thanks, Todd. Still ahead, a Crowder Rough Rider announces his commitment to Pitt State, and a PSU alum gets the chance to lead a Division I football program. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
We've got
Nate Dreiling was a national champion and an All-American as a football player at Pitt State back in the early 2010s. He came back to PSU as an assistant coach later that decade, and this week the Gorilla alum gets the opportunity of a lifetime. Dreiling is promoted to interim head coach at Utah State, which is a Division I FBS school and competes in the Mountain West Conference. Former Aggie head coach Blake Anderson, who hired Dreiling as defensive coordinator in January of this year, was under external investigation for non-compliance with Title IX policies involving sexual misconduct. The university announced yesterday its intention to fire Anderson and promote Dreiling to interim head coach for the entire 2024 football season. Dreiling was the Division II Defensive Player of the Year in 2011 while helping lead the Gorillas to a national championship. Here's a look at his timeline coaching leading to this opportunity. Began back as a grad assistant at Kansas in 2015. From there, he came back to Pitt State, first as a safeties coach, then defensive coordinator, then moved on to Oregon, Southeast Missouri State, and New Mexico State. Under the direction of fellow Pitt State alum Jerry Kill, he begins his first season as head coach at 33 years old. Switching gears to college basketball, Missouri Southern Men's Hoops announces today it has finalized its recruiting class for the 24-25 season. The Lions bring 9 new faces aboard. 5 of them are transfers, 4 are true freshmen, which includes one name that might be familiar to those around here, Gavin El Camille, who graduated from Pittsburgh High School in 2020 before going to Link Academy, Tulsa, then most recently Southeast Missouri State. Moving over to baseball, a 2022 Webb City High School grad and 2-year Crowder Rough Rider commits to Pittsburgh State today. Cooper Crouch announces on Twitter he's committing to PSU and will join the Gorillas for the upcoming season. Since graduating from Webb City, he has spent the past 2 seasons with Crowder College and had a 2.42 ERA his sophomore year. Over in summer collegiate baseball, after earning a win at home yesterday, Outlaws lose on the road tonight. They fall 10-4 to Piney Woods. Joplin has a chance to even up things tomorrow, though. These two play each other at 7:05 in White Oak, Texas. Over to Major League Baseball, the Cardinals' win in Pittsburgh last night brings them 4 games above 500 for the first time this season. Tonight, the Redbirds had a great chance to go 5 games above 500. They fall to the Pirates in extra innings, though. After taking a 4-3 lead in the top of the 10th, they allow 2 runs to score in the bottom half of the inning and lose in walk-off fashion. Over in Kansas City, the Royals take care of the Rays 4-2. Michael Wacha gets the win after throwing 6 innings, striking out 8, allowing just 2 hits. Bobby Witt Jr., big day at the plate and on the bases, 2 hits, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. Today we also found out the starters for the MLB All-Star Game. No Cardinals, no Royals. Thought maybe Bobby Witt Jr. might have stuck onto that list, but I got a feeling we're going to be seeing him when the rest of the team gets unveiled on Sunday.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
He is a star for sure. We'll be right back. It's an international roster for America's birthday eating competition. Contestants weighed in ahead of Nathan's annual 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest. This bun fight is serious business, attracting competitors from as far away as the Czech Republic and Japan. A popular favorite to take home the mustard belt, James Webb.
Tomorrow there's going to be a new champion and it's going to be a great experience, and I'm just happy to be here.
What a gracious guy. What I thought he was going to say is, and that champion's going to be me.
Crowds will turn out in Coney Island tomorrow for that big eat. Missing from the competition, reigning champ Joey Chestnut. He's excluded from this year's Throwdown over his sponsorship deal with another brand.
Doesn't feel right that he's not going to be there.
I know it won't be the same, that's for sure.
He's won several years.
A lot.
Yeah, I think it was
like
like
12 years in a row or something.
Yeah, and apparently he's cashing in on that by endorsing a hot dog brand that they don't really like, but you know.
There you go.
There you go. Not so great weather tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to have scattered thunderstorms and during the evening hours. Some of these could be strong to severe, especially along and south of the I-44 corridor.
Final sports note.
We'll have plenty of baseball on 4th of July tomorrow. Outlaws on the road. The Cardinals and Royals also play tomorrow.
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great 4th of July.